One commander turned back toward the fire. One pilot refused to let him go alone.
You want to dive into hell alone? Pick a different wing.
Below them waited the ones survival had forgotten.
Please help. Can you hear me?
And in the smoke, one of them would do something dangerously human.
Connection initiated. Welcome, visitor.
Entry 254.19. Descent into hell. The corridor was breaking, but not all at once. I had escorted one battered wave of evacuees to F2, cutting nomad stragglers from their path until the survivors reached the Omicron Mu jump hole and vanished through it. F2 was not close to Toledo. That was the point. It was the way out. It was the place survivors reached, if luck, engines, and enough dead pilots carried them there. Beyond it waited Omicron Mu. Behind it, the corridor stretched back through fire, debris, broken formations, and the dying gravity well of Toledo. For one brief moment, Zeta 21 was whole again at the edge of the escape route. Then ISIS called over wideband.
All units, this is Battleship ISIS. Surface extractions are failing. No shuttles remain operational planetside. Civilian clusters still confirmed near Toledo's outer annexes. Research staff, support crews, medical personnel, wounded base workers, and dependents. We can receive them if you can get them off the surface.
For a moment, no one spoke. Below us, far behind the corridor, Toledo burned through its atmosphere. Above us, F2 remained open by a margin too thin to call safety. And between those two impossibilities, Command found one more order. I answered without hesitation.
Copy, ISIS. This is Zeta 21, the White Jackal. I'm inbound.
I turned the Jackal back toward Toledo and opened wing channel.
Zeta 21, hold position at F2. Row 1, Row 2, Row 3. Stay with the corridor. Keep the door open.
Commander, that's suicide. You can't go back alone.
Follow orders. Hold formation.
Then Row 2 cut in.
With respect, Commander. No.
His crew's engines flared.
Row 2.
You can yell at me later. Court-martial me in Mu if we live that long.
His Anubis broke from formation and dropped in behind me.
Row 2, return to F2.
Negative. You want to dive into hell alone? Pick a different wing.
For half a second, I considered ordering Rowan to drag him back. There was no time.
Then stay tight.
Always do, Commander.
Row 2 has broken formation. Row 3 and I remain at F2. Hold the corridor, Row 1. Whatever happens, keep that door open. Understood.
Row 2.
Row 2 answered before I could cut the channel.
Don't start missing me yet, rookie. I'm very annoying. Hard to kill.
Then we turned away from the only open door and burned back toward Toledo. The return flight felt longer than the war. F2 shrank behind us, and ahead, Toledo grew brighter with every kilometer. The planet did not look like a world anymore. It looked like a wound with gravity. The corridor between F2 and Toledo was no longer a route. It was a graveyard, still in motion. We crossed through wreckage from ships that had almost made it. We passed lifeless hulls spinning without power. We passed escape craft with dead engines, frozen mid-flight, their transponders still repeating requests no one had time to answer. Row 2 stayed on my flank through all of it. ISIS transmitted the coordinates as we entered Toledo's inner battle space.
Marked site is a collapsed surface annex near the western research grid. Multiple life signs confirmed. Hostiles closing from the east. Atmospheric interference is severe.
Mark received.
Row 2 tightened his approach.
I see the descent vector.
Stay with me.
I was planning something much worse.
Do not.
No promises.
We dove. Toledo rose beneath us, vast and broken. The surface fractured in long black scars. Ice plains had split open. Research domes lay crushed beneath their own frames. Support habitats had collapsed into the terrain. Dust and ash climbed into the sky in slow, towering columns. Toledo had no cities. Not in the ordinary sense. Toledo was not a normal world. It was a necessity. And on this necessity lived more than soldiers. Scientists, engineers, medics, maintenance crews, reactor staff, families that should never have been there and could not be left behind once they were. The collapsed annex appeared through the smoke below us, half buried in ice and structural debris. 2 nomad warforms circled above the ruin, their organic hulls glowing through smoke and ash. They moved like predators that had forgotten hunger and remembered only hatred. Row 2 reached them first.
I have the left.
Then I have the right.
We struck together. Row 2 cut across the first warform's path and forced it low. I drove through the second with cannon fire before it could turn toward the annex. Its body split under the impact, spilling violet light across the smoke. The first tried to climb. Row 2 stayed with it. Too close, too aggressive. Exactly as dangerous as he always became when fear had nowhere else to go. His guns tore through the warform. The creature folded in on itself and fell burning into the ice.
Clearing looks friendly now.
Your definition of friendly remains poor.
I set the Jackal down in a half-collapsed clearing, while Row 2 circled overhead. The landing gear struck hard. The frame screamed. I did not have time to care. The annex had folded inward. Its outer shell cracked open like an egg. Wind howled through the broken pressure ribs. Smoke moved in sheets across the ice. Somewhere inside the ruin, people were still alive.
Can you hear me?
I opened external comms.
Survivors, move to the Jackal, now.
For one terrible second, no one came. Then shapes emerged from the smoke. They ran badly. Limping, bleeding, carrying sealed cases, dragging wounded personnel between them. A base worker fell near the edge of the clearing, rose, fell again, and kept crawling.
Commander, more movement east side. 6, maybe 7.
Bring them in.
On it!
Row 2 landed hard near the annex's fractured entrance. His Anubis skidded across the ice before stabilizing, and he was out of the cockpit before the landing gear had fully settled.
You heard the commander. Move! If you can walk, walk. If you can't, grab someone who can.
A child froze beside the wreckage of a base transport. One hand clutched a cracked Order ID cord so tightly his glove had split at the thumb. He stared up at the burning sky. Row 2 reached him first.
Hey, eyes on me, not the sky.
The boy did not move. Row 2 crouched in front of him and held out one hand.
That's it. Come on. The scary part is the commander's flying, and everyone survives that. Mostly.
The child took his hand. For a moment, beneath the fire and the smoke and the dying planet, Row 2 sounded almost human without armor. Then the next bombardment hit beyond the ridge. Move! I hauled survivors into the Jackal. Too many for the cargo compartment. Too many for any flight profile written by a sane engineer. Row 2 shoved 2 more wounded technicians into the narrow rear compartment and slammed the hatch seal into place.
Commander, your ship is over capacity.
Noted.
Want me to take a few?
No. Stay empty. Stay fast.
Commander!
I carry the weight. You keep death off my hull. Before I lifted off, I threw the coordinates wide.
This is Cassius, commander of Zeta 21. Extraction site marked at my location. Non-combatants remain inside the collapsed surface annex. We cannot take them all. Any unit with space, get down here. There are no shuttles left. Carry them to ISIS or Thebes. Do it now.
A switch to the Jackal's intercom.
To everyone aboard, hold on to anything you can. Do not let go. We are lifting.
Row 2 rose first. His Anubis climbing through ash with a tremor he was trying to hide. A dozen small warnings that, in another battle, I would have ordered him to report. In this one, I needed him flying. He cleared the ridge. I ignited the Jackal's thrusters. The ship lifted like it hated me for asking. We climbed through ash and fire. The Jackal fought every meter, heavy with lives packed into every impossible space. Above us, shapes dropped through the clouds. Nomad war forms. 3 first, then more.
Segment end. Cassius, you made the correct decision. Take the weight, save the helpless. Keep the faster pilot empty, sharp, and lethal. Efficient, severe, almost elegant. Row 2, you ridiculous little variable. You found a terrified child in the smoke and answered fear with a joke. Primitive, sentimental, effective. How embarrassing. Human weakness keeps producing useful outcomes. Oh, and you said you were hard to kill. The archive remembers jokes like that. Tell me, visitor, was Row 2 strongest when he fought the war forms, or when he knelt beside the child? Leave your answer in the archive. Signal approval if you feel generous. Continued connection is naturally preferable. Session terminated.